Tried to make a gluten-free cookie and it just crumbled in your hand? Or maybe a cake and it fell flat? Don't worry, I've been there too, and that's why today we are breaking down the top 3 mistakes that happen when you're trying to bake gluten-free and how to fix them fast. Hi, my name is Alicia Falk-Horton from Simply Gluten-Free Kitchen, your bestie when it comes to all things gluten-free baking. And trust me, I have made all of these mistakes we're about to talk about in this video, and I know exactly how to tackle them because of this. And we are going to fix them fast and easily. Gluten-free baking mistake number 1 is overmixing the batter or dough. This one is a biggie. Gluten-free flours do not act the same as wheat-based ones. They don't need as much handling. Overmixing them can actually introduce way too much air and can lead to gummy, dense textures. You do not need to stretch and fold and mix forever like you do the wheat. That actually helps the gluten get more structure. So since we don't have the gluten because it's evil, right? We don't need to do that. So let's not make our gluten-free goodies paperweights, and let's just mix the right amount. And you might ask, what is the right amount? Oftentimes, mixing your ingredients just until they're combined. Like, aim for a smooth texture, no dry spots, and stop right there. Gluten-free baking mistake number 2, using the wrong type of flour. All right, not all gluten-free flours are created equal. You can use the wrong one and it'll completely throw off your recipe. For example, almond flour is great for moisture, but if you use too much of it, it's going to make whatever you're baking way too heavy. Another example, using a rice flour. Rice flour has a lot of structure, but too much structure and you're going to get too dense and it's going to be really bland because rice flour doesn't have a lot of flavor. So what's the solution? Let's keep it simple for the beginners out there. Use a gluten-free measure for measure flour like King Arthur or Bob Red Mills. These blends are carefully balanced to give you the best results without all the guesswork. But if you are blending your own, focusing on balancing the starches and the flours for structures is best. And honestly, most of your gluten-free recipes that you find online are going to tell you the amounts that you need for each type. So follow those super closely, especially if you're a beginner, and don't substitute too much unless that recipe creator tells you it's okay. Baking mistake number 3, measuring improperly. Now, we have to tackle this because this is so important. Too much or too little flour is seriously a disaster for any recipe, but for gluten-free, it's even worse. If you measure purely by volume, like a measuring cup, it gets really tricky because gluten-free flours can settle or even compact. So what is the best fix for this? Always measure by weight using a kitchen scale. It's a small investment that's actually going to make a super huge difference in your results when you're gluten-free baking. My favorite one is linked down in the description. I'd love to know in the comments below, have you ever tried to make your own pre-made flour blend? I would love to know. Are you just sticking to the mixes that are already made for you? I remember the first time I attempted to follow a recipe that used like 14 ingredients and you had to mix and blend. I didn't have some of the things and I'm like, oh, it can't matter that much. I'm just going to use what I have. Oh my gosh, what a disaster. And from that point on, I just trust the recipe creators. They're amazing and good for them for taking all that time in the kitchen to figure it out so people like us can just go in there and rock some gluten-free baked goods. So learn from me. either use a pre-made blend that you can get from the store and follow those instructions, or if you're getting a recipe online, make sure you have the ingredients that it says to have. So if you are ready to rock this gluten-free baking journey and learn all those essential ingredients and tools and techniques and just have some fun in the kitchen again, I would love for you to download my free gluten-free baking guide below in the description so you can get that baking confidence and have some yummy treats for you and your family. Thanks so much for watching. If this video helped you at all, I'd love it if you hit that like and subscribe button so you can get notified when my next video pops up. There's always more coming your way when it comes to gluten-free baking, and I can't wait until I see you next time.